Hello and welcome back to the 10th Genshin Impact Hunger Games. You might notice something a little bit different today. Where are our favorite playable characters? Well, except Scaramouche, but some of you guys gave me the inspiration last round to do an enemy-only round, inspired by our friend Binky from round 9. So allow me to introduce you to the contestants of round 10. In District 1, we have Binky and Enjo the Abyss Lector. In District 2, we have Linda and the unusual Hilly Churl. District 3 is Stacy and Stacy's mom. District 4 is Bing and Bong. District 5 is Mr. Donald and Ajdaha. District 6 is Lettuce and Jennifer. District 7 is Totally Not Tartaggles and Cranky Pete. District 8 is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. District 9 is Scaramouche and Dottore. They're probably like, how did I get involved in this? District 10 is Winston and Rihanna Jr. District 11 is Billy and Willie. And District 12 is Albert and Reckless Palette, because we know that they are the biggest enemies in this entire franchise. Place your bets. Who's your favorite? My money's on Mr. Donald. All right, well, I guess we're just gonna go for it. So here we go. Alright, we've made it to the bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podium, the horn sounds, signaling the start of the game. And to start it off, Cranky Pete and Willie fight for a bag. Willie gives up and retreats. I would not front on Cranky Pete if I were you. He has the word cranky in his name. Mrs. Smith and Lettuce work together to drown Dottore. They're like, you get out of here. You have an unfair advantage from the start. We gotta take him out. Mr. Donald runs away from the cornucopia. Scaramouche stays at the cornucopia for resources. He probably saw Dottore get slain back there and was like, bet I'm not about to get involved in that. Binky runs away from the cornucopia. All right, Binky, this needs to be a redemption story from the last round. Jennifer and Bing fight for a bag. Bing gives up and retreats. Billy runs away. Unusual Hilly Churl runs away. Mr. Smith runs away. Rihanna Jr. runs away. Stacy runs away with a lighter and some rope. Oh god. Ajdaha runs away. Winston runs away. Oh. Reckless Palette, Albert, Linda, and Enjo share everything they've gathered before running. Don't fraternize with these fools, Enjo! Not Tartaggles runs away. Bong grabs a wind glider from the cornucopia. Stacy's mom grabs a sword. Do not mess with Stacy's mom. She has got it going on. All right, we made it past the bloodbath. On to day 1. Stacy finds 5 primo jumps, but it's not enough for another roll. Very tragic. Nart. His name's Nart now. Nart receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Lettuce is distracted by a wandering Sealy and gets lost. I'm still laughing about Nart, dude. Willie camouflages himself in the bushes. Winston receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. How are you supposed to use a hatchet? You have no arms. Reckless Palette and Bong work together for the day. Ajdaha travels to higher ground. You are a massive creature. I don't know how you manage that, dude. Bing receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Mr. Smith makes a slingshot. Jennifer sprains her ankle while running away from Albert. Rihanna Jr. chased Stacy's mom into the Surumi fog. Both were never seen again. No. What is Stacy supposed to do without her mom? And Rihanna Jr. no less. Enjo travels to higher ground. Mr. Donald diverts Scaramouche's tension and runs away. Billy questions her sanity. Oh, I guess Billy's a girl. All right, well, let's go. Binky dies from hypothermia. Binky! We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Cranky Pete receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Linda kills unusual Hilly Churl while he's resting. The drama. You guys were partners. Linda had enough. She's tired of working at McDonald's. Mrs. Smith thinks about home. Mr. and Mrs. Smith have not been collaborating very much, if at all. Oh, great. We have an arena event. You know, these are bad news. These are always super killers. The arena's borders begin to rapidly contract. What does that mean? Oh no. Ajdaha survives. Mr. Donald survives. Mrs. Smith survives. Bing survives. Mr. Smith trips on a tree root and is unable to recover fast enough. Mrs. Smith is now a widow. Oh no. Jennifer survives. Nart trips on a tree root and is unable to recover fast enough. Nart! Scaramouche survives. Lettuce survives. Linda pushes Willie into the border while he's not paying attention. Linda is out for blood. Winston restrains Enjo to a tree and leaves him to die. Are you serious, Winston? I thought we were cool. Man, Enjo, why can you never win? You'll never win at this rate. Reckless Palad survives. Who cares? Albert restrains Stacy to a tree and leaves her to die. Aw, right after Stacy's mom got moited, now Stacy's up to bat. Cranky Pete pushes Billy into the border while she's not paying attention. Cranky Pete strikes again as well. And Bong is electrocuted by the border. All right, we had a lot of deaths. Oh my god, 12. Oh, okay, Linda has 2 kills. Lettuce has 1. I don't remember that. Mrs. Smith, Cranky Pete, Albert, Winston all have 1 as well. Okay, this is ridiculous. All right, on to night. Oh, that was just day 1. Sorry. Now we're on to night 1. Bing fends Mrs. Smith, Cranky Pete, and Reckless Palad away from his fire. Lettuce and Scaramouche track down and kill Ajdaha. I forgot Scaramouche was alive. Albert and Mr. Donald were caught smooching in the bushes. Interesting. I see you've moved on from blondes to robots. Jennifer is awoken by nightmares. Winston looks up at the night sky. I'm just imagining Winston with like these big anime eyes and like little blush marks. Linda dies of dysentery. So after all of that, she dies by her own body's hand. That's pretty tragic. All right, day 2. Albert thinks about home, and Mr. Donald. Reckless Palad finds an exquisite chest in the woods. Cranky Pete receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Bing runs away from Mrs. Smith. Ayo, hold on. Mrs. Smith, are we looking for a new Mr. Smith or what? Jennifer, Mr. Donald, and Winston get into a fight. Mr. Donald triumphantly kills them both. Headcanon that Winston and Jennifer were making fun of Mr. Donald, like, saw you hooking up with Albert last night. He's like, shut up. Lettuce picks flowers. Scaramouche receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. All right, 4 cannon shots. Ajdaha, Linda, Jennifer, and Winston. On to night 2. Mrs. Smith, Mr. Donald, Reckless Palad, and Scaramouche tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. My favorite nightly activity. Bing cooks his food before putting his fire out. Albert begs for Lettuce to kill him. She reluctantly obliges, killing Albert. All right, he couldn't take the drama. Albert's out of here, and Cranky Pete goes to sleep. He is not bothered at all. Cranky Pete lives for this activity. Wow, we've already made it to the feast. Cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Scaramouche throws a knife into Mrs. Smith's chest. That's not very friendly of you at the giant feast dinner. What's wrong with you? Lettuce decides not to go to the feast. Reckless Palad throws a knife into Cranky Pete's chest. No! I liked Cranky Pete. Reckless Palad, you're a giant turd. Mr. Donald bleeds out due to untreated injuries. He's a robot. You're a ruin guard. I don't know. I'm not gonna ask too many questions. All right. Bing decides not to go to the feast. Dang it. 2 of my faves just died. Day 3. Scaramouche gleefully kills Timmy's birds. What if Scaramouche is on a mission? He's like, listen, I've been in these rounds so many times and I've never won. I want to win a round. And if I have to win against all these stupid common enemies, then so be it. Lettuce and Bing find an unusual hilly churl. They have a dance party. Well, I hate to tell you this, but the unusual hilly churl's already been killed. Reckless Palad picks flowers. What? These are the only 4 left? I'm sorry, we're on day 3 and there's only 4 people left? How many? Okay. Scaramouche has like a legitimate chance of winning right now. What the heck? I guess I'm rooting for him, maybe? I mean, I'm not rooting for Reckless Palad, like, at all. Bing has not killed anybody. Lettuce has killed 3, Scara has killed 2, and Albert has killed 1. Okay, so Bing is our pacifist. Lettuce is on a death parade. Night 3. Bing lets Reckless Palad into his shelter. Now, may I remind you the euphemism involving letting someone into their shelter, lest we forget what happened with Al-Haytham a few rounds ago. Lettuce dies from thirst. Lettuce wanted to be let into Bing's shelter, but he said no. Aw, Lettuce. Scaramouche receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. We all know who this is. It's the Fatui. Day 4. Scaramouche stalks Bing. Reckless Palad is distracted by a wandering Sealy and gets lost. Reckless Palad just died. Okay. All right, we're left with Scaramouche and Bing. Bro, Scaramouche has got a 50-50 chance of winning. Wait, what? Night 4, Scaramouche catches Reckless Palad off guard and kills it. Wait, so he didn't die when he got lost from the Sealy? I thought that was a death prompt. Okay, well, it doesn't matter because he just got killed. And Bing bleeds out due to untreated. That's it. Scaramouche won! Let's go! no! Oh my god, Scaramouche won! And the winner from District 9, he's finally done it. Cat-eared Scaramouche beat the odds against all the common enemies. He is the most basic enemy of all. Alright, and it looks like Scaramouche had the top kill next to Lettuce. So I guess it was earned. He had the most kills out of most people in this entire round. And interestingly enough, in dead last, Dottore was in 24th place. So, you know, Scaramouche really had to prove himself here, apparently. Alright, well, I know that that was an exceptionally silly round. Thank you to anyone who recommended we do this, like, kind of goofy round 10 to give the other characters a break. Because, you know, they've been through a lot. Seeing as this was round 10 of the Hunger Games, I think this series might go on a little bit of a hiatus for the time being. We can always come back with more, of course. A couple things I do want to experiment with. Apparently, there's like a bachelorette simulator, so we might make a couple videos about that coming up soon. There's also a RuPaul Drag Race simulator, so if you've enjoyed this series so far, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you've thought. Let me know if there's any other simulators you would like for me to check out. Leave a comment that says rest in peace Binky. Let him know that we're still thinking of him. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.